Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I want to share with you my chores tracker. It's super simple, so much so that I'm going to share with you today how you can put it together yourself. I've mentioned it briefly in a previous video and I had a couple of comments and DMs asking me to share more about it and how I use it. And I'm a big believer that this is the sort of thing that we really should be able to get for free. And I know there are loads of great apps out there. I get them come up on my Insta ads quite a lot that sort of let you tick off your chores as you do them. There are some, they look really pretty. You can even earn points as you go. And if you feel like you need something like that for motivation, then that's fair enough, you do you. But I honestly believe this is something that is so simple that we should all be able to just have a free version if we want one. So I'm going to show you how to create mine, and it shouldn't even take 10 minutes to do it. So if you wanted to make your own tailored specifically to you, you are more than welcome to. But then what I will also do is upload this version as a free download. So if you want to just download this one and then just edit it for yourself, then you can also do that. I will upload it to my Buy Me a Coffee page just because that's the only way I know to actually share a file without having to sort of have a website or without having to go through some sort of shared cloud storage. So it's better just to do it that way for me, but I will set it as no cost, so you don't actually have to pay anything for it, you will just be able to download it. So I'll show you how to create it for yourself first, if that is easier for you, you just want to quickly put one together, and then I'll show you specifically how I use mine. The first thing you're going to need to do is open an Excel or a Google Sheets. Because this is so simple, don't be thrown off if you think I don't know Excel and I don't know Google Sheets. It has no formulas in it, it's just because the spreadsheet layout is a lot simpler to use as like a checklist option. I suppose if you really wanted to, you could make something similar in Word, but I use Excel. It's just, for me, the easiest format to make it work. It's not the prettiest. You could definitely make prettier looking chore trackers, but this one I find just to be the most functional and easiest to use. So pop yourself on an Excel or a Google Sheets. It doesn't matter which because it's so simple, but I'm going to show you on Excel because I prefer Excel. In my work, I use Excel quite a lot and it has a lot more functionality than Google Sheets. You don't need any of that functionality today, but it's my preference. So if you're looking at how to do it exactly, like which buttons to press and whatnot, probably do it in Excel. If you know how to mimic the same thing in Google Sheets, then do it in Google Sheets. You're going to start by putting chores in that first cell. Don't format it for now because there's really no need to. We're then going to put our first date in the next cell along, so B1, from when you want to start it. So I'm filming this on the 28th of October, meaning the next week starts Monday the 30th. So I generally do a week commencing format. So I just put what the date will be on the Monday and use that for that week. You're then going to right click, format cells, because with this being written horizontally, it's taking up a lot of space when you only really need a small box for like checking it off. So go to the second tab, which is alignment. Grab this little diamond, the red one, and just drag it so your text now reads vertically and it will say 90 degrees in the box, and click OK. Then you can see this doesn't quite fit this way, so we just need to drag and adjust the cell height. I am going to put that in bold as well. And then we're just going to drag this until that's clear. And then likewise, you're going to go to the end of cell B and drag it inwards so it's the height you actually need it to be. So I'm going to go with that. Then I'm going to right click, go to column width just to see how big that is. So it's 2.86 at the minute. So I'm just going to call that 2.9 for when I do the rest. And then I'm just going to highlight a whole bunch of extra cells. It really doesn't matter how many you do. And put in my 2.9. And that will put all of those columns to the same width. That way you can fit loads more of them on the screen and you can see your tracker over a longer period of time. Remember, each of these cells is a week. So that's quite a few weeks, and then you can just extend it as you need to. You can then use the drag and drop tool to drag this along for how many weeks you want. But at the moment, with it only having one date in, it defaults to just putting the next day in. So for it to know that you're going by week, you just want to make sure you put the next Monday, in this case, in. So this would be the 6th of November 2023. Obviously, if you format your date differently, depending on where you are in the world, you will do so. You can see it comes up just like these little hashtags. That's just because it is in there. You can see it written in the text box at the top. But because the cell isn't wide enough to fit it all in, because it's still horizontal in that box, it's just put that in. So what you're going to do is click on this, click on Format Painter, and click on there, and it will put it in the same format as that previous cell. So now you can see it. And now Excel knows that we're doing this every 7 days. And you can see, look, 13th, 20th, 27th. It now knows if we keep dragging this, it will do it weekly. So that's going to be set to every Monday. And I've got this one going until September 2024. So I've done enough cells for nearly a year there. If you're just trialing this, you might just want to go till the end of the year, and then you can always add on columns as you need to. I'm at the point now with mine where I add on a column every week as I go. So that's your dates done, you're all set up. So then we're going to go to the chores section, and we're going to put in weekly. Now I'm going to put the chores in that I have in mine, which probably won't work for you because we'll have different chores to do depending on the things we've got in our houses, in our lives and whatnot. So I will also show you, if you decide to download my version rather than make your own, how you can very quickly change this. So the first thing I have in mine, which probably seems a bit weird, is bunnies. And you'll also notice, I'm just going to drag this across so I've got a bit more room for my chores. I put bunnies 1, and that's because I do a full deep clean of my bunnies area twice a week. So if there's anything you've got to do twice in 1 week, rather than have like a half weekly section, just put it in your list twice. So then you've got it down twice. So bunnies 1 and bunnies 2. I have to do other basic daily things for them, but things I do every single day that I know I do every day, I don't bother putting in the tracker. I only do weekly and above chores. I also water my plants every week, and I also empty all my bins, and within that I count putting the bins out for them to be collected. And that's everything I have in weekly. I think it's because I live by myself. My space doesn't get too messy, so most of my chores I actually now only have to do fortnightly. So I'm going to set up a new section. Again, I'm going to bold and underline that. And then I'm going to start listing my fortnightly chores. So I'm very quickly going to pop those in. So for me, that's things like mow the lawn. That actually is less at this time of year, which is why something like this is really handy because it's so easy to change. So I've had mow the lawn fortnightly all through the spring and summer. As we go into the winter, that might become 3 weekly, it might become monthly. When we're in like the proper hardcore winter, it won't get done at all. So having something like this where I can change that cell and move it into a different section so easily is really quite efficient. I also have my laundry that I generally do once every fortnight for different areas. So I don't just put laundry and then leave it as laundry. I do separate ones. I do laundry lights, laundry darks, I do laundry whites, which I do separate to lights if I've got enough whites, and then I do laundry separates. So anything that can't go in with the other stuff or anything that I have to hand wash, I treat that as a separate, and I have a separate little laundry bag for each of these categories so I can keep my eye on when they get full, I'll know to do them. Now you might also be thinking, what do you do if actually you've put it in the fortnightly section, for the most part it's fortnightly, but you actually want to do it more or less frequently than that on the odd occasion. Don't worry, I will get there and talk all about that. I also have, what do I have? Clean dining area. I have all my dust and vacuums in fortnightly. So dust and vacuum living room. Then I do bedroom, hall, stairs and landing, office, dressing room. So I'm just copying that and I'm just going to change it. So I've got bedroom, oh, you can see that just went a little bit over, so I'm just going to drag that so it's big enough. Office and dressing room. And obviously you'll have different rooms, so you might have guest room in there, you might have kids room. Likewise, where you have laundry, you might have laundry and then a particular person's name if you do separate laundry, or if you put all of your lights together for everyone, all of your darks for everyone, then you'll do it this way. I live alone, so I feel like it's a lot simpler for me. You also might be wondering why I'm making this on my computer, even though I'd use my tracker on my phone. And that is simply because I find it really fiddly to create an Excel on my phone with it being so small. So I create it on my computer and then I either upload it to OneDrive and open it on the OneDrive on my phone, or just email it to myself and then open the email on my phone. If you download mine, I would suggest downloading it directly to your phone if that's where you're going to be using it from. When I put change bed, I also include like washing my bedding. So I've not done a separate laundry for that because I know that's counted within that. And that's everything I do fortnightly. So then I do every 3 weeks, in which I have got just a few things. You might be wondering why I have clean ensuite, which is a bathroom, in every 3 weeks. And that's because it doesn't get used. I have only got myself, and my ensuite is on the side of the house with a window that is next to someone else's house. So it's so dark and gloomy in there, so I don't use it. I use my main bathroom, which is bigger. But every now and then, because you know dust still builds up, I just go in and give it a wipe down. So when I say clean ensuite, it doesn't really need cleaning. I only have those few in every 3 weeks. And then we've got monthly. I have deep clean kitchen. Now you might be wondering why nowhere on here I've just got clean kitchen, like wipe down the surfaces and whatnot. That is because I do that every single day after cooking. So I don't feel like I have to do like a weekly big clean of my kitchen because I literally clean it every single day. And if I've been cooking at the hob, for example, and anything splashed up the back, I clean that there and then. I won't just leave it. And then within that, I have cleaned the ovens, clean the microwave. Now some of these you just might assume within deep clean of kitchen and you might not have to bullet point them separately, but I put them on here just in case. And clean fridge, freezer. I also have descale the kettle, just because where I live we have really hard water that needs doing quite a bit. Then I've got tidy the gardens, clean the blinds just for dust buildup, and clean the windows. That's both inside and out. And then not really essential, but if you do want to have the yearly section, then in that I have paint the fences in the garden, defrost the freezer, I have pressure wash the slabs in the garden, and then I have like the big yearly filing. You know how when you've had your little bits and you've kept tabs of everything all through the months of the year, then once I have the big overhaul of that. And that is literally it. That is your tracker made. So time-wise, I'm not even sure that took 10 minutes, and I was talking in between, so if you just sat and did it, it'd be a lot quicker. So if you decide to make your own, obviously you'll tailor that to you. If you decide to download mine and you want to make changes to it, you can go right in, and let's say you didn't want my bunnies ones, you can delete those and type something else into these boxes. If you find there's too many rows and you want to entirely delete a row, just right click and delete. Likewise, if you need way more things in the weekly section, right click and you can insert rows as well, and you can insert as many rows as you need. So you'll be able to chop and change that for whatever you want. So I'll save that, I will upload it so you can then download my version for free if you want it. And then I will just show you my version as I've been using it on my phone so you can see how I fill it in. So here is mine on my phone. As I said, once it's created, it's a lot easier to use on your phone because you're literally just filling in boxes in different colors. Or if you want to, you can put like check marks in them. I prefer to do colors because I have a different meaning for each color, if that makes sense. So you can see I've got my dates along the top. This is dating back to August. And I did just delete a whole bunch of columns because it was starting to get really quite long, and I don't need sort of the history for that long, so you can just delete as you go if you want to. So if we just look at this top section, the weekly section, you can see it's mostly all green. We've got this one column here that is blacked out. That's because I was away that week, and so if I'm away, obviously I'm not going to be at home to do my chores, so I just blacked out the whole column. Green means I did it. I think that's quite self-explanatory. Red means I didn't do it. And so if I don't do something I should have done that week or that fortnight, however it works, I will just highlight it in yellow for the following week as sort of a priority task. So those are the things I should be doing first. And you can actually see one of those down in clean blinds in the monthly section. So that was the week in that month I was supposed to clean my blinds, but I didn't get round to it. So you can see for next week, I really need to prioritize getting that done because then it's gone over a month and it should have been done. So I've made that yellow. So yellow is like priority. Make sure you do that first next week. You will then probably notice in some of them, like for the fortnightly section, I haven't done things necessarily every fortnight. So if you look at mow the lawn, that was 1 week on, 1 week off, 1 week on, and then I wasn't at home, so that was 1 week off. So it should have been the next week, and then it should have been the week after, and that was just a really bad segment of time for my mowing the lawn, and it got really bad, and I eventually got around to doing it then. We've also got, for example, clean main bathroom. When it's only me using it, it's really not that bad, and cleaning it fortnightly is fine. But if I've had guests over, for example, and there's been 2 of us using the bathroom, then it might be that the following week it wants another clean. So even though this is in my fortnightly section, I did also clean it the following week. So if for the most part this task belongs in your fortnightly section, leave it there. But then if you need to do it more regularly on occasion, you can just fill it in that you did it. It doesn't matter that you filled in more than you should on your tracker. I've then got a couple of extra black filled in cells. So this is under laundry separates. So by my time scale, there was my first week doing it. Then I had 1 week off because it's fortnightly. And so then it should have been that week, the 21st of August. I put it in black if it should have been that week, but I didn't actually need to do it. So I didn't have enough separate laundry pieces that I felt it was worth me doing a whole bunch. Like if I'm doing some hand washing, I'll do a bunch of it at once rather than just one item. So I put it in black if I plan to do it, but actually it doesn't need doing. And that's just to remind me that it's something I skipped, but it wasn't an urgent skip, but maybe next week or the week after it will need doing. So you can see my monthly ones. Generally, you want to see a green every 4 to 5 weeks, depending on the month, or you can do it by calendar month. So if you've got one in July, you go, right, I won't worry, I'll just make sure I've got one in August. That might mean you end up with a bit more of a gap here and there, because if you do one at, let's say, the start of June and call that your June one, and then your July one you don't do till the end of July, then that's got quite a few weeks in between. So it's up to you how you decide to do it. I try to do it basically every 4 weeks. Then the last one is yearly. Now, obviously, unless you keep track for the whole year, you're going to lose your completed yearly tasks. So I completed update folders and files in September, but eventually when I start to delete more columns as time progresses, that will disappear and I'll forget if I've done it. So with the yearly tasks, I actually just send the whole name of the task green when I've done it for the year. So when I do lose that, I'll know it's still done. So when I want to fill one in, so let's just pretend. So next week when I've done my bunnies for the first time, I will just set that in green and I'm done. I've tracked that I've done that item. You may also have noticed I've frozen the first column. That's so that when I scroll through my dates, I can still read what the chores are and they don't disappear off the screen. But that's it. That's my entire chore tracker and how I use it. So if you want to do something similar for yourself, if you think it will simplify your life a little bit, keep you on track, then by all means go ahead, create your own or download mine for free. And that's it. It's that simple. If you enjoyed this video or you found it helpful, please do remember to give it a thumbs up. It really does help my channel. Subscribe if you're not already. You can do so by clicking this picture right here, and if you're sticking around for another video, I will leave one just here that I think you might enjoy. Until next time, take care. Bye.